Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Chris Hoff, and it's time for another kitchen table talk. I hope you have some coffee. Uh, Actually, this is empty. I've had too much coffee today, but uh, so we'll see how this goes. Today's topic is the isolation epidemic, or what often gets called the loneliness epidemic. And even before COVID, 50% of Americans reported feeling isolated, alone, and disconnected. And if you actually surveyed other categories like Gen Z and the millennials, it was even higher in the 70 to 80% range. And that was pre-COVID. And it's not just a United States problem. In the United Kingdom, they actually appointed Minister of Loneliness to begin to take on this problem, this epidemic of loneliness or isolation that we're experiencing. And why is this important? Well, the CDC recently reported kind of a series of health risks directly related to loneliness, this loneliness epidemic, and they include a person's increased risk of premature death that rivals, smoking or even physical inactivity, an increased risk of dementia by 50%, 29% increased risk of heart disease, a 32% increase in stroke, and of course, loneliness is associated with higher rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide. And I should also let you know that immigrant and LGBT folks are even at a higher risk than some of the other categories I just mentioned. That current research suggests that immigrant and lesbian, gay, bisexual, and trans populations experience loneliness more often than other groups. So it's a problem. And if you spend any time training with me at California Family Institute, you'll often hear me say that I don't care what the problem is, it grows in isolation. So what do we do? What are the answers? Well, as always, the answers lie in community and relationships, right? You can, of course, look at digital solutions. That studies have found that tools like video chat and instant messages may help elderly adults feel less lonely. But I should also say the research shows that loneliness may subside as younger people get off social media. So that's an interesting finding, that actually social media scrolling, going into the scroll hole, right, can create a sense of loneliness in our lives, like we're missing out on stuff, that kind of thing. So digital solutions aren't a cure-all for everybody. Actually, backing away from some of the digital solutions might reduce that experience of loneliness. Also, social support, an idea that I always get behind. I don't care what the problem is. If people feel socially supported, problems tend to dissolve better. And so how do we do social support in these interesting times? Well, it's as simple as sending a text message to somebody, letting them know you're there for them. That the research shows that people who experience social support, even if it's not in person, do better. So, and I've seen a meme floating around where it's like checking on your friends that you don't think need checking in on. So what I would suggest is, do text messages, reach out in any way you can reach out. And if you can do, it's physical distancing, not social distancing, right? That you can still see people safely, wear a mask, physical distance, but check in on your friends and let them know they're supported. It goes a long way. And finally, the last one I'm going to offer is this idea that we reduce loneliness stigma, or we reduce isolation stigma. In the West, we prize rugged individualism. And unfortunately, this kind of ideology has created problems in our lives. We are expected to do well alone, even though we are very much social creatures. And we need to make it okay again to ask for help, to let people know that we're not doing okay. So, the idea that we're supposed to do everything on our own, pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, is a deadly idea, in my opinion. So, opinion alert. So how do we escape the individualistic ideology of our times? Well, we have to make it okay, hopefully, by modeling it for other people, that it's okay to ask for help, to let people know when we're not doing okay, and so that they can ask for help. So those are three solutions: digital solutions, either reaching out to maybe more isolated folks digitally, or if your social media is creating a problem for you, reduce your digital use. Social support, let people know you're there, you have their back. And of course, reduce the stigma around asking for help. So in that vein, I'm going to say, I do direct a community counseling center if you are in Southern California, in Costa Mesa, California Family Institute. We're there. We provide individual, couple, and family therapy at low cost. Nobody's turned away, no matter what they can afford. And if you need some help, please don't hesitate to reach out. So I'm Dr. Chris Hoff. As always, thank you for joining me at my kitchen table, and reach out to somebody today. Peace.